gaming. So welcome back to a road to 2500 rapid elo. This is a series where I play chess, I explain my moves until I get to 2500 elo here on chess.com in rapid. You can see my current elo is 2460. So I'm going to be trying to play a Catalan. This is my favorite opening with the white pieces. And we're going to see what my opponent does to try and counter this. You can see my opponent spent literally a minute on that move. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to cut out like segments like that where my opponent takes forever to make a move. And hopefully that makes the video a bit more entertaining for YouTube. So yeah, I've got the dream Catalan setup here. I'm going to play c4. This, I don't know if it's the correct move, but, you know, I just like the complexity of this central pawn clamp. If he takes, I can always play queen a4 at worst, win back my pawn. Or maybe, probably that's what I will do if takes. And if he doesn't take, probably I will resolve this tension fairly soon. Okay, let me see. If I play knight c3, then he can take. Then I play queen a4, he can take here. So let's take the pawn in the center. My idea is if pawn takes, then I can take you on c5, and I'm playing against this very weak isolated pawn, which I definitely cannot complain about. Bishop takes, for example, I can play knight to c3, and I can play bishop g5, and I can go after the d5 pawn. I can also play knight d2, knight b3, and blockade the square in front of the isolated pawn. So I'm actually going to play knight c3. The reason I'm choosing this instead of knight d2 is I can also play knight to b5 and then knight to d4. So kind of I'm doing both my ideas. Pawn on d5 would just be completely free. So my opponent has to play bishop to resolve that. So I can take. Queen takes, knight takes, but at the end of that variation, my pawn on b2 is hanging. So let me play this rook c1, put my rook on an open line. I'm threatening to take on d5. Actually, I wouldn't, because there's this tactic. But, I mean, knight a4 is a possibility for sure as well. With the idea to either take the bishop or go to c5. What else can I do? e3 looks like a normal move, but that kind of runs into d4 at one stage. Can play b3 with the idea to take, and then my pawn on b2 would not be hanging. So let's try this. b3. This is a very prophylactic move. My idea is takes, and then I can take on d5, and my opponent will not be able to grab the pawn on b2. Also, I'm just kind of trying to figure out what my opponent's trying to do. Leaving my options open. That's very good. A lot of weak players, what they do, they try to rush into variations, which is just not a good idea sometimes. They end up making their position worse by over-pushing and over-committing. So sometimes you just need to take a chill pull, relax, improve your position slowly, as I have done with this move, pawn to b3. Okay, rook e8. So I can now take. Oh, he's very sneaky. My opponent is very, very sneaky. He wants to be able to take the pawn on e2. So if I play e3, I'm slightly concerned about pawn to d4. Takes, knight takes. I guess I don't need to be concerned because the pawn on b7 will always be hanging. And that's just good. So I have multiple ideas now. Knight b5 to d4 is one. Knight a4. Obviously, my big threat right now is bishop takes f6. So let's see what my opponent does about that. Also, guys, the YouTube channel recently, last month, I gained 1,500 subscribers. A few months ago, I only had 1,500, and now I'm on like 5,000 already. So shout out to you guys, the fans. for inspiring me to make the content, because when I see the channel doing so well, it makes me want to post more. For future, I think I want to get a better camera for my YouTube channel. You can see right now my camera is very bad. It's just a webcam right now. So compared to like a Gotham chess, for example, the camera needs a lot of work. So take. I think I'm just winning a pawn. Obviously, g takes is just never a good idea for black to open the king like that. So here I've won a pawn, and I don't see what black's idea is. Maybe rook comes to d8. Hey, queen e7. I'm very confused what that move is actually doing. I can play a improving move like rook to d1. Let's just go for that. Well, do I have to be worried about bishop takes e3? But right now, I don't think I have to be too concerned about that move. What I want to do is somehow get my knight into the game, because although my knight is good here on f3, it's kind of blocking my bishop a little bit. So maybe knight h4 to knight f5 is something to consider. I'll do this. This looks like a very dodgy move, but I mean, black is gonna have to respond to this big threat. Also, okay, knight b4. That move makes some sense, but it hangs a pawn. It does hang a pawn. I will take that pawn all day. And I think I have to, because black is threatening take, and then bishop takes e3. Although rook e1, that doesn't work. But I mean, free pawn, I will take that now. If rook takes, bishop takes, I will be able to exchange off the queens first. So literally, I've done nothing fancy in this game at all, and my opponent is 2,473. That's quite a high rating, but you can see all I did was know my opening, improve my position, and I'm just 2 pawns up. Okay, that is a good move. My opponent really wants to try this thing, so I'm gonna take his rook to just make this move way less appealing to my opponent. Also, like some potential a3. Okay, I think a3, knight moves, bishop d5, and then I'm just winning. So if the knight moves bishop d5, it's like game over. So my opponent has to come up with some rook c7. Rook c7. Like, for example, if knight d3, bishop d5, how does the queen protect the rook? Has to go like queen to h3, but then I'm taking on f7 and I'm bringing my knight to f5. I'm threatening checkmate. This position just looks quite bad. Also, if queen e8, bishop takes f7 is a beautiful tactic. Queen takes. Nobody's home to defend the rook. So my opponent has just resigned. What a great game.